Hey, Carl again. Okay, so today we're going to talk a little bit about buyers, all right? Now, a lot of people have a big problem with buyers because there's a lot of confusion about what they should or shouldn't do. A lot of agents tend to think that, you go ahead and you put your clients on a automatic email drip, and then when something comes on the multiple listing service, then the people will go ahead and call you and you can go show it to them, and then that's that. The problem with that philosophy is that forever they are always looking on the multiple listing service. Through today's society, they can see things through their mobile phones, through the iPads, all the different computer systems that they have access to, and you find yourself constantly getting calls by agents, by the buyers themselves saying, well, what about this property over here? What about that property over there? Only to find out that it's active in CAPA or contingent on something else or pending or actually sold. And the reason why is because you've never really did it right in the first place. Now I'm going to go ahead and discuss with you today the easiest way to go ahead and sell a buyer without showing them a ton of homes, okay? Now there's in my experience, I've shown really as little as 0 homes to a buyer all the way up to about 5. And the average for me is I usually show 3 or 4 maybe homes before I actually get them under contract. And by the end of today's lesson, you're going to be able to do the same thing, save yourself a lot of time, save yourself, the buyer, a lot of aggravation, and most of all, make more money. So if you're okay with that, then let's go ahead and get started with that today. Now, the thing I want to start off, you need to understand a couple things. First and foremost, you need to have a buyer, all right, who is absolutely qualified and motivated. Everything else is contingent upon that. They must be motivated, okay? Now, if this is somebody who has got nothing in their head but to buy a home and buy a home now, then that is the kind of person you want to walk with, okay? The thing about it is that if they're not qualified or if they're not motivated, then you're spinning your wheels. So how do you go ahead and qualify them? Well, the first thing obviously is you go ahead and qualify them, as we've discussed in previous lectures about financing. You have them attend a meeting or at least call or talk to your lender who has to pre-qualify them and make sure that they are qualified financially. Then you need to go ahead and qualify them for their motivation and what it is that they want and the likelihood of them being able to get what they want. That's your job. Now you need to have that meeting in the office, okay? And how you do that is you simply get together with the buyer on the phone and you tell them, look, here's the deal. I've got a very specific way that we can make sure we get you the right house at the right price and not overpay. Those are the words that you want to use, because for a buyer, that is their main fear. They don't want to overpay for something. And when you start saying, hey, look, let's get together and let me show you a way that I can make sure you don't overpay for a home, that way you'll be able to get the best place at the best price. Then they'll be very motivated to do what you need them to do, and that is to come into the office. So the first thing you want to do is to go ahead and cast a net really wide about everything that they could possibly want, okay? Sit down with them and say, okay, how many bedrooms, how many baths, how many square feet, all those sorts of things, okay? And then you look in the areas that could meet their needs. So if they want to meet in, let's say they want to live in the northwest side, ask them if they want to live in the north side or maybe even the west side as well. Or does it need to specifically be the northwest side? Then search for properties that are about $5,000 to $10,000 above what their asking price is. And before they have a chance to object, you say, and the reason why is because just because, let's say your limit is $300,000, as much as you want to go, they're willing to sometimes put their home on the market at $310,000, but they're willing to take $300,000 or maybe reduce their price. You meet them in the office and you want to explain to them that this is everything I'm about to show you is everything that is on the multiple listing service, that is everything that is currently available. You need to make it very clear in their head that everything they see on Trulia, everything they see on longrealty.com or any other site, or on realtor.com, everything they get is from the local multiple listing service. And for the latest information, that's where all that information is derived from. You're going to have to do a little bit of education. And if you educate them properly, all right, then you will stop getting those calls at 2 o'clock and saying, well, what about this one? I saw that. Well, what about this one? I saw this. Or I was driving by, I saw the sign. When you educate them fully on the fact that everything they see in the multiple listing service is what's currently available, and that everything that has a sign on it has been on the multiple listing service at least 2 or 3 days, make sure they understand that, look, the reason why it's on the MLS is because if the sign goes up, that's 2 or 3 days after they've signed the listing agreement, okay? So even if it doesn't have a sign on it, all right, you're going to know about it because it's on the multiple listing service. It may not have got a sign on there just yet because the sign company hasn't been out there. But for whatever reason, you make sure that you pull everything that could possibly work for them. And once you do that, this is the technique that I use to go ahead and get them to buy something in a relatively short period of time. Now remember, this is only if they're motivated. If they're not motivated, then you're really going to have a tough time to do this, okay? So you print out everything, all right? And so it doesn't matter if there's 10, 15, 20 of them, whatever it is. I've just got an example here of 5 or 10, 15 of them. And what we're going to do is we're going to lay it out in front of them, okay? So I'm going to adjust the table here for you, all right? And we're going to pretend that you're a buyer, all right? Now, I'm going to say to you, all right, now look, Mr. Buyer, these are all the properties that match your criteria. We saw it on the multiple listing service. Now here they are, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and then you pass it over to them. I'm going to move the camera just a little bit. You want to pass it over to them and say, okay, I want you to go ahead, go through this and make 2 piles. Pile A is the pile that you want to keep. Pile B is the kind that just will not work whatsoever, okay? So what they're going to do is they're going to say, okay, great. Then they're going to start, kind of going through, well, 3 bedrooms, oh, yeah, okay, well, yeah, we like this one, or no, we don't like that one, or no, we don't like this one, yeah, we like this one, no, yes, no, 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 yeah, we'll keep that one, and they'll do that, okay? And what they do is they will go ahead and say, all right, well, these are the ones we like. These are the ones we're not really interested in. And you say, okay, great, no problem. These are the ones that you do not want at all, correct? Right. Okay, great. You take this pile, all right, you go ahead, you make a little bit of a show out of it, then you go ahead and crumple it up, and then find the trash can and throw it away. Now, let's have a little come to Jesus about this, all right? When you take that and you throw it away, look ready for their face. Their face will be like, oh my God, I can't believe you just threw it away. You want to make a big deal out of it, okay? And the reason why is because when you make a big deal out of it, that eliminates the possibility that they can go back to those properties at all. Those are completely out of the question. They will never be seen again, okay? Now you tell them, okay, great. These are the ones you're interested in. Perfect. You take a little look at them. Oh, okay, that's nice, whatever. All right, great. Now I want you to go ahead and take these and put those into 2 piles. Which ones do you want? Which ones are you not so interested in? Now here's what's going to happen. They're going to be a lot more circumspect this time about which ones they're going to pick. Well, oh boy, okay, well, and now they're going to spend a lot more time reviewing it. And the reason why is because they think, hey, if we put it in the wrong pile, he's going to throw it away. All right? So they're going to be looking at it really, they're going to be studying it. Well, okay, yeah, these will be okay right here. You'll notice that the pile that they keep is a lot bigger than the pile that they don't keep. Obviously, the reason why is because they think you're going to throw this away. But you're not going to throw it away, okay? You're going to keep this. You're going to say, okay, great, no problem. And you fold it in half, all right? And you set it to the side. Now, these are the ones that remain, all right? And usually this pile is 3 to 5. And you say, okay, great. Now, Mr. Buyer, tell me, what is it about these properties that you really like, okay? So they're going to say, well, let's see. Well, we like this one because it's got 5 bedrooms. We like this one because it's in the right location. We like this one because it has a pool. And you say, okay, great, let me take a note. And you're making notes of this, okay? When you make notes of things, people like that because that means that you're interested and it means that you're paying attention. And then once that's done, you go ahead and you say, okay, great. I'm going to go ahead and take these I'm going to make some appointments. Let's go ahead and take a look at these. Now, if one of these properties looked like it would work for you, okay, if one of these properties met the criteria and everything else was okay, assuming that everything is fine, would you make an offer on one of these properties today? Now, you need to understand one important fact. The fact is that they are there to buy a home, okay? And when you say, if everything is okay, all right, if you look at these and, you know, barring anything significant, would there be anything stopping you from making an offer on one of these properties today? When you say that, okay, that puts it right to the point. Are you going to buy a home or not? Okay? Right now in the air-conditioned office is the time you want to find this out. Because if they equivocate and they say, well, you know, we got to talk to our sister, we got to talk to our brother, we got to talk to our mom, you know, whatever, then you want to make sure that you try and get that person there with you while you're showing property. Don't show property to just the wife. Don't show property to just the husband, because the problem is when you do that, neither party is going to make a decision on the without the other one being present. Then you got to go show it to them again. Okay? They say, well, no, my wife says it's okay for me to make the choice. Yeah, you know, I get it. But sometimes wives, you know, they want to see things too. That's what you want to say. Or, well, you know, my husband says it's okay, and it's all up to me. Well, that's probably true. It is up to the wife more often than not. But the fact is, the husband definitely needs to see it. He's not going to go picking up all his things from the man cave and move it into the house without her, you know, without seeing it, despite how happy his wife is. Now, the fact is, you need to get these people together and say, okay, great. When's a good time for us to get together and take a look at these properties? Then you set the appointments based upon the showing instructions. Now, understand this, that the property themselves, okay, when we show property, we have a tendency to believe that we show property, and the more we show property, the more rapport we build with the seller, or I'm sorry, the buyer. And that's not the case at all. The more you show property over and over and over again, okay, the more time you waste with them, the less happy they become, and the more they think that you don't know what you're talking about, okay? And the reason why I can say this with confidence is because if you've sold any property at all, if you've shown property to other agents, people, you know, you'll always hear the same thing. They'll say, well, you know, we were working with so-and-so realtor, but they were just showing us a bunch of stuff that didn't work. And they were showing us a bunch of stuff that, you know, there was too high priced, it was over our price range, they were trying to push us into something we didn't like. Look, when you have them in the office, you can say, now, Mr. Buyer, these are the properties you chose, and you said you liked it for this reason. My job is to go out and get you a great price on these properties. Now, I want you to understand that out of these properties that we looked at everything on the multiple listing service, everything that's currently for sale today. Okay? You picked through everything. I didn't pick through it, you picked through it. And out of the ones that are possibilities, these are the only ones that remain that you say you're interested in. You've looked at them on the internet, you've looked at them on the paper, you've looked at them on the pictures online, and based on what we can see, these are the closest fit for what you say you want. Is that correct? You got to get it really clear to them that it was their choice, that was the only thing that remained, that it was their decision, that those were the only properties, those two factors, their choice, only properties. You've got to get it clear through them that that's the only choices they have today. Okay? Oh yeah, we know. Okay, good. All right. So now you go show property. Now you're showing property. Now, don't be an idiot. All right? When you go show property, all right, don't be the foolish realtor that goes through and says, well, this is the kitchen, and this is the bath, and this is the living room. Okay? They can see that it's a kitchen. They can see that it's a bathroom, and they can see that it's a living room. What you want to do is stay out of the way. Have them go through the property and look at them. Watch what they're doing. Okay? And see what they look like. You know, if they start paying attention to particular areas of the home, oh wow, this is cool, look at this, or oh, isn't this interesting? You know, then that's something you want to pay attention to. Likewise, if they start saying, oh my God, this place is a dump, geez Louise, then you know you don't need to worry about that kind of property. The reason why you want to watch them is so you can get a feel for what it is they like. Because if none of these properties work, you're going to need to know what it is they look for. Okay, and you want to be really clear on that. If they start demonstrating buying signs, and a buying sign is like, wow, you know, this is a pretty cool place. I wonder if they're including the drapes. Or, you know, does this place, you know, come with, you know, a home warranty? Or, so, do you think they'll take a little bit less for this property? Or what are the monthly payments for something like this? You know, those sorts of questions are buying signs. And you want to go ahead and say, you know, that's a great question. Tell you what, let's go back to the office and let's take a look. Let's get a cup of coffee and let's take a look. Okay? When you get them back to the office, that's when you can control the conversation again. Okay? If at all possible, you want to try and ride with them or have them, you know, ride in your car and not travel separately, if that's at all possible. And the reason why is because you want to be there in the conversation, in the moment that they're having, because when they're in their car, they're talking about something. If you're in your car, they're talking amongst each other, and you're not privy to that conversation. You don't know what's going on in their head. You want to be there and understand where they're coming from. So as you're showing property to these people, if the property looks like it's something that would work for them, okay, and you'll know relatively quickly, usually within about 30 seconds of going inside the door, if it's something that's going to work for them. So, you know, Bill, Mary, I'm wondering, you know, where are we going to put the couch? Where do you think you'd put the couch in this room? Or, you know, which one would be, you know, the kids' room? Or which one would be the office? Or something like that. When they start mentally putting their furniture places, then that's a really good place to be. Now, let's assume you've gone through the house and they don't like it, okay? And you give them the listing sheet. You let them take a look around. Now you keep a listing sheet for yourself so you know if they have questions like how many square feet is this? Oh yeah, it's, you know, it's 3,500 square feet, you know, or whatever. But once they go ahead and they say, you know, you say, is this house going to work for you? Say, well, no, it's not. You know, it's not. Okay, so you couldn't see yourself buying this property at all. Is that correct? That's correct. Okay, great. Let me get that listing sheet. So they give you the listing sheet. You say, okay, so this home's out, right? Right, okay. And then you take it and you throw it in the seller's trash can, okay? You go in the seller's trash can, you throw it away. You crumple it up, you throw it away. The reason why is because now instead of 3, they have 2. And that is a powerful psychological selling tool because now they realize that the scarcity is starting to take place. And they start realizing, look, we've looked through everything on the multiple listing service. We sorted out what would work and nothing, you know, these would work and Carl threw away the others. So they no longer exist mentally. And then we look again and we see that only 3 of them are really ones that we're interested in. And now we just threw away 1. Okay? Now you're going to go show them the other 2. Now another quick thing to know about showing is that when you're showing property, always show them the best property first. I know you've heard stories about show them crap, and then the best. Okay? That is probably singularly the worst piece of information I think I have ever heard. And the reason why is because it wastes the client's time. If you know for a fact that this house is a piece of crap, okay, and it's not going to work, then why in the hell are you wasting your time with them? Okay? These people have jobs. They have lives. They don't want to spend time showing property. Okay? They don't want to. They want to go out. They want to find a house that's going to work and get it over with. All right? But when you go out and you have this little game that you like to play by showing them the crap house so that they will see the good house and say, oh my God, that's great, okay? The problem is that not only have you wasted their time and your time, which is incredibly disrespectful, but then you've also gone ahead and set yourself up in a scenario where they're going to say, well, if this first one was terrible and this next one was better, well, what's the next one going to be like? Maybe it could be even better, okay? The reason why you show them the best house first is because when they see that house, if they have it in their head, well, maybe the next one's better, and then you show them the next house and it's worse, and then if you have to show them another again and it's even worse, then they realize the value of the first one. See the psychology? It's a little bit different, all right? Instead of building up the expectations okay, to where it's impossible to continue, now you're decreasing, okay? Now you're decreasing their expectations. Because if the first one was great, and the second one is worse, and the third one was worse yet, then holy crap, why should we even look at anything else? That's the difference. Now, once you get back to the office, okay, let's pretend that nothing worked. Nothing was okay. Nothing looked good, all right? You say, okay, now guys, look, here's the deal. We have looked through everything that is currently available on the multiple listing service today. You saw me do it face to face. All of the information that was possible, that you get from artrealtor.com or Trulia or anybody else, all comes from the multiple listing service. That's the root source of information. We've gone through everything. We didn't find anything that worked for you today, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out and I'm going to try and find that property. I'm going to look at all the properties the day they come on the market. I will know about it, okay? And if you want to go to explain to them how you're going to set up an email, auto notify feature for yourself, then that's fine. But you can just simply say, I'm going to look every single day at the properties that come available on the market that match your criteria. And because I've been out with you, I know exactly what you're looking for, okay? Now, everything you look at has a sign on the side of the road or something along those lines. You've either seen it on the multiple listing service and thrown it away, or I know about it, okay, because of what's coming on the market, or it's pending, okay, and you can't have it. That will eliminate all those calls to you saying, well, what about this house? Well, what about that house? Okay. Then you can add in this feature. You say, well, and the other thing that I can tell you is that every day I'm talking to people who are looking for property and who are selling property. And because I call expired listings and canceled listings, I'm going to call people in that area who are looking for, or who had property like yours, okay, but for one reason or another didn't sell, and I'm going to ask them if they still want to sell their property. I'm going to call all the for sale by owners and let them know and see if they are interested in selling their property to you as well. So you don't have to worry about for sale by owners, you don't have to worry about expired listings, cancels, pre-foreclosures, or anything of that sort, because I'm already calling them for you, all right? I'm also already notifying myself and through the multiple listing service of anything that could possibly work for you. So you will not miss a single property. So you can rest assured that you're okay. Once you have established that, that should successfully eliminate everything that could possibly come into their head. Okay, you've told them how the multiple listing service works. You've told them how all these ancillary services work, like Trulia and Realtor.com. You've told them about homes that are not currently on the market that you're going to give them access to. And you've told them about properties that are for sale by owners, so they can't go behind your back and stab you by finding something else without you. Okay? You can let them know that you're looking for them for you. Once you've done this, all right, you should be in a very good position to go ahead and make it to where you don't have to show but 3 or 4 properties, because you've already established in their head that you are the go-to guy or go-to gal for this, and that they don't need to worry about it, that if it's not available, then it's not available. But second something comes available, then you'll let them know. Now, when something does come available, okay, assuming that nothing works, once something does come available, don't just shoot it to them in an email, okay? That's a lazy man's way to do it. What you want to do is you want to call that other agent and you want to ask specific questions. You want to go on the internet and you want to look at that property. And then if you have time, you definitely want to go out and preview that property, okay? That way, you know about it before they do. When they call you and they say, hey, what about that house on 2nd Street? You say, yeah, I know about that one. I looked at it and it smells like cat pee. Or, I know about that one. I talked to the agent. The agent said that they had 6 offers on the property already, okay? The thing about it is that you want to set a situation up where you're the professional, where you're not reacting to what it is the client is finding. Because when the client finds it, then you're nothing more than an order taker. And when you're an order taker, it's really easy for them to go ahead and find somebody else who will take that order. All right? You want to be the source of information that will give them exactly what they want, how they want it, when they want it, and you'll be glad that you did. So anyway, I hope this has been helpful. If you have any other questions, feel free to drop an email to me at kkrensel@gmail.com, or feel free to like, subscribe, and rate down at the comment section below, and we'll be happy to answer any other questions that you may have. Until next time, you have a wonderful, powerful selling day. Take care.